Good morning and welcome everyone to ABG Investor Days. My name is Jesper Birch Jensen and I work as an equity research analyst here at ABG in Stockholm. Today we have about 40 companies presenting, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning and ending at 5:30 in the afternoon. And the first company that we have today is AwardIT, where we have the founder Niklas Lundqvist here to present the company and tell us more about the business. So I think with that said, please go ahead, Niklas.
Thank you, Henrik, and it's always great to be first. I love that. My name is Niklas, and I'm the founder of AwardIT, which I started around 20 years ago. Nowadays, my role in the company is focused on M&A and investor relations. On a more personal level, I'm an addict to loyalty points, which I believe is a great tool in behavioral finance. You can move on to the next slide, please. And the next one after that, actually. Looking at AwardIT today, we are the largest company platform for loyalty, incentive, and gift card programs in the Nordics. We have a revenue of approximately 300 million. And if you look at our recent acquisitions of MBXP and our ongoing acquisition of the Inspiration Company, our pro forma turnover is well above 500 million. We have a very long history of organic growth and profitability. Looking at it from our customers' perspective, we are a one-stop shop. We not only provide a platform on a software as a service basis, but we also make loyalty programs attractive and successful by providing a market for example, loyalty point spending and a market for partnerships enabling additional point spending, earning in such programs. Today, we're divided up into 3 different business areas. We have loyalty, gift cards, and partnerships. We operate more than 150 programs, reaching more than 15 million members in the Nordics. Actually, those figures are probably a lot higher today, taking into account our latest acquisitions and ongoing acquisition. This makes our platform and business model extremely valuable. Normally, programs are set up and operated on behalf of our customers and under our customers' brands, but we also operate a handful of private label programs that we actually own. Looking at our long-term ambition, it is to become one of the largest players in Europe, and we believe in combining organic growth with an aggressive acquisition strategy. And since our IPO in December 2017, we have completed 8 acquisitions, and right now we are working on our 9th since a few weeks back. You can move on to slide number 4, please. If you look at the driving forces for our customers, a loyalty incentive gift card program can target consumers, businesses, resellers, and employees. There's a place for our solutions in more or less every type of business. And our customers use our platforms to increase revenue and profitability. And they obviously want to achieve a greater share of wallet. They want to decrease price and discount focus. They want to increase customer lifetime and decrease churn, and establish more response and cost-effective customer communication, etc. You can move on to slide number 5. Looking at our business model, it's my favorite part of the company. It's fantastic. It's extremely scalable. We could probably double our turnover from current levels without adding employees. There are some slight variations depending on the business area. And if you look at our loyalty division, we typically charge a one-time setup fee, a monthly fee for access to our platform on software as a service basis. But then most importantly, we provide a marketplace for members to spend points and or fiat currency on thousands of different products, physical and digital, and also on digital gift cards. When it comes to our gift card division, we also charge a fee when a gift card is loaded with value on our platform. So we function as a a gift card processor for different types of brands on the market. We charge commissions when gift cards are resold in our distribution network of more than 12,000 stores in the Nordics and 25,000 stores in Spain. And our latest acquisition, MBXP, has put us in a position where we control around 80 to 90% of this market space in the Nordics. So it's a very, very good position to be in. When it comes to gift cards, we also have a business model based on breakage. When it comes to our own gift card brands, it's when a gift card expires, the value that's left on the card is profit for us. When it comes to partner networks, we implement such networks in programs that we operate for our members. And these networks then enable members to earn points or cash back at hundreds of different stores online or offline. And we charge commissions on all such transactions, and those commissions are also used to finance points or cash back that are given to them, that are used as rewards to the members. And to illustrate the extreme value potential for our platform and network, we can use a relatively fresh example, and that is Supergift, which is our own private label multi-brand gift card. In other words, it's a gift card that can be redeemed for 100 other different gift cards. We launched this product in the middle of last year, and since then we have generated sales of around 60 to 70 million krona with 0 krona in investment in marketing and organization. Obviously, if you would try to do this as a startup, you would be looking at years of work to reach that position and tens of millions in capital to make it a reality. You can move on to the next slide, please. Looking at our financial history, you can see that we've seen steady growth in revenue and profits. In 2017, when we went public with our acquisition strategy, since then we've seen more dramatic growth, both organically and through acquisitions. But in 2020, we saw a negative effect on our revenue in exposed customer segments such as travel, hospitality, and experiences. At the same time, we maintained growth in other areas, but our indirect price for the pandemic, we estimated at 50 million in reduced revenue and 7 million in reduced profitability. But as you can see, our actual revenue decline was only marginal, and the profitability was more or less the same from 2019 to 2020. So when I say the price for the pandemic, it's what we expected to have seen, and on basis of the turnover in those customer segments in 2019 versus 2020. In the last 15 months, we have closed new deals worth around 100 million krona per year when fully launched. Most of this business has yet to show up in our books, but we're pretty confident that the development will be swift after the pandemic. We're a company that has been paying dividends for the past 12 years, and we've raised the dividends 12 years in a row. So we believe in combining paying dividends with organic revenue growth. So that's our continued goal, so to speak. You can move on to slide 7, please. This is just another view of our financial history. Again, you can see the slight effect on 2020 due to the pandemic, but this just goes to show the profitability per share in AwardIT. Slide 8, please. Looking at the first quarter of 2021, it's been a very exciting quarter. We signed Saint-Gobain Distribution Nordic, which is a new customer, and it's our biggest new customer deal ever. It's actually worth around 50 million krona per year in revenue for us. We also closed our acquisition of MBXP, which is the leading transaction platform for third-party distribution of gift cards in the Nordics. And a few weeks ago, we signed a term sheet to acquire our competitor, the Inspiration Company. But at the same time, we've had to continue to operate under the effect of the pandemic, although we start to see the light in the tunnel. Looking at our turnover in the first quarter, it increased from 60 to 63 million. At the same time, our profitability decreased from 8.8 to 6.6, and that has to do with lower gross margins, in turn due to changes in revenue mix. We've sold more super gift products, and that is due to the pandemic. We lost some of our business models have been wiped out during 2020, but has been compensated by super gift. And the value of this on profitability level is approximately 2.3 million krona during the first quarter. We've also invested in our IT organization. And also, if you're looking at like the comparison I had in the earlier slide, if you look at the indirect price for the pandemic during the first quarter, we estimated at 10 million kronor in lower revenue and 1 million kronor in lower profit. So if you would add it up, and it was a normal year, we probably would have seen a profitability of around 10 million. Super gift continues to be a great success for us, but it's important to note that initial margin when selling super gift is initially lower. And there's also an accounting model to be aware of. We recognize the revenue from super gift when it's not when it's sold, but when it is redeemed. And it's also important to note that we have a business model on breakage, that is expired cards. When we distribute a super gift and it's loaded with a value, it has an expiration date of 12 months. And after 12 months, if there's any value left on the card, that will be profit for us. But from an accounting perspective, we can't forecast that profit in our books. So we'll be seeing profits from breakage in our books from second quarter, slightly, then more in the third quarter, and probably a lot in the last quarter. We don't know yet how much profitability this will total to. We can move on to the next slide, please. Looking at our gross margin development, we've had a positive trend over time. And we believe that this trend will continue. We've seen a decline in the last quarter, but that is, like I said, it's due to super gift that reduces the average margin. Like I said, it's important to take into account that we will incur breakage starting slightly this quarter and then increasing over time. This has to do with the volumes of super gifts sold and when they've been sold, and most of them are sold in the fourth quarter, or were sold in the fourth quarter last year. Next slide, please. Some information on our ongoing acquisition of the Inspiration Company. It's a company that was founded in 1999. It's actually AwardIT's largest business-to-business loyalty program competitor and incentive program competitor. It has an identical business model. which more or less guarantees great synergies and cost-saving potentials in this acquisition. If we look at their figures for 2021, they had a turnover of approximately 97 million. Their profitability was around 11 million. They actually they saw organic growth during the pandemic, which was higher than ours in the same area, which is great. Looking at their forecast for the coming year, the revenues is expected to be a bit lower, but with a higher profitability. 2022-23, it's expected to be around 25% lower revenue and profitability, which is due to a loss of a major customer to AwardIT. It was the case that I mentioned earlier, Saint-Gobain, which we signed a few months back. That has been a TIC's customer for a very long time. That customer case will remain with TIC the full year of 2021. Thereafter, they're switching to the AwardIT platform, and that revenue will move over to the mother company. Please move on to the next slide. Looking at the future for AwardIT, we have an aggressive acquisition strategy, and right now we're working on completing the acquisition of the inspiration company, and our aim is to close that deal and take control of the company July 1st. We're also working on the initial integration of MBXP. We've set a so-called 100-day project to do the initial work. In the middle of April, at which time we will be in our books from the middle of April, and TIC, if everything goes well, will be in our books from July 1st. And let's see, I have some issue with my screen here. All right, now it's better. We expect to see increased organic growth regardless of the pandemic. When we entered into 2021 in January, we actually saw that January started on the same note as the last quarter last year ended on a negative note. But then growth actually speeded up during the first quarter. So we saw a growth of around 5% in the first quarter. And starting out the second quarter in April, we've seen a growth of around 10% in all our areas, which is great. We expect the growth rate to increase over time, and we're in a very good position after the pandemic, the way I see it. We obviously continue to work on all business-oriented synergies within the group. That mainly has to do with cross-selling. We have a bunch of products in our portfolio, and it's important that all parts of the business that we do all that we can to make sure that all customers are aware of all our products, and that they get the opportunity to see the upsides for adding products. We are working on building a partnership network based on open banking, so-called account and card linking, which we believe will be great in the future. That will be added to loyalty programs that we already operate. We'll be continuing with our acquisition strategy. We're obviously looking at different acquisition opportunities all the time. It's a very fragmented market in Europe, so the market is perfect for our strategy. And in the long run, we want to be one of the absolute leaders on this market in Europe. With that said, I think we have spent 20 minutes, so we can move on to questions if you have any.
Yes, thank you, Niklas. And a couple of questions. I think I'll start off with your recent acquisition here of the inspiration company. What is the competitive landscape looking like now in the Nordics after you bought your largest competitor within B2B loyalty programs, and how dominating is AwardIT now in the Nordics?
Well, I would say when it comes to business loyalty programs, through the acquisition of TIC, we will have a very strong position. It was our largest competitor. When looking at business consumer loyalty programs, the landscape is still more fragmented, and there are a lot of small companies out there. We're obviously looking at some opportunities, but I believe that moving on, it's more interesting for us to look into other Nordic companies and looking south to for instance, Germany. I mean, Germany is the largest market in Europe.
Right, thank you. And you touched upon it briefly there in your presentation, but what types of synergies are you expecting through this acquisition? And if you could say anything of the size of the synergies, that would be interesting as well.
Well, I mean, we are looking at simple stuff, low-hanging fruit, such as just, premises, certain warehousing, and so on. That's easy synergies of probably 1.5 million to 2 million per year that can be put in effect more or less in a few months' time. Obviously, there are business synergies such as us implementing our private label products into their programs. Supergift is such an example. It's today I believe they're using products from a competitor of ours in Denmark, so that will be replaced very quickly. It's a great synergy. And obviously, looking from an organizational perspective, we expect to also see some synergies, but that obviously takes some time to get to know the company better over the next 6 to 12 months after we take control of it. But probably the best case for synergies and more business so far.
Thank you. And just on that same topic, through the acquisition, is it mainly, are you mainly getting obviously the synergies you mentioned, but also a larger customer base, but are you also getting some type of new technology or product which you're not offering in the presently? Or?
Well, we could be adding some on the tech side. We'll see. They obviously run their own platform. So we'll be looking at if that platform is better in some aspects, or how we should handle that in the future. But that would take some time, 6 to 12 months before we know that fully.
I understand. Thank you. And just lastly, how many more acquisitions in this size are there in the Nordics within B2B then? And or you mentioned you're looking outside of Europe. Would that be the natural next? Outside of the Nordics. Is that the natural next step for you now?
I believe we can do a few more acquisitions in the Nordic, but I'm very interested in moving south.
Okay.
I can't say anything about the numbers of companies that are on our list, but there are a few.
Understand. I think we're running out of time here, so I'd like to thank you, Niklas, for joining us today and telling us more about AwardIT, and for the audience for listening in. Thank you both.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.